to welcome another one of my awesome students, Aline. Please come up.
Hi, my name is Aline. um, okay. That morning, at my earliest 5 years old, I remember that I fell asleep on those soft and warm arms that I could not feel her go. The next thing that I remember is my sister trying to wake me up. She looked so desperate that I couldn't understand why. Until I woke up that bed and walk out the house, and I see her, and I see that person of those soft and warm arms living on a car with no return. Mom wasn't coming back. After the past years, the years passed, we both grew up, my sister and I, we became independent. And at the age of 11, we had to move to the north part of Mexico. That is a small city called Nuevo Laredo. That is a border between Laredo, Texas. It was well known in that time for being such a violent place to live on. Not to mention that in the first week that we arrived on school, the whole school was threatened by some gang or some group of narcos. No one really knows about it. So at the age of 16, I just met my brother for the first time on December 31st of 2015, whom I had heard many stories about during my childhood, but that is another story to tell. By February of 2016, I had already my flight ticket, and I couldn't believe I could come to New York City and see my mom again. So I just text my friends, Abby and Magella. So why not? We needed to take advantage of my last days on Mexico. So even though my aunt didn't want me to go because I had to take care of my career and, those things. But as I was really younger, I really wanted to go out with my friends. So I just went out. And after all the food and chatting and all those things, the time to go home was already there. So while we were walking, we could feel that hot air blowing in our faces, and everything just became slow as I saw a car going on the opposite way towards a truck full of soldiers. And I just saw how a man, his half of his body was out of the window and he was holding a gun. He started shooting at the truck. They didn't really care about how many people was there on the streets, but I just was there standing like an idiot, just looking how the people was throwing themselves to the floor, just like if they were about to dive into a pool. And it was really funny. And then I look at my left side and I didn't see my friends. I was looking for them. But then when I looked at the floor, I saw them crawling on the floor, and it was really funny. And then the only thing that I could do was to laugh like a lunatic. I was laughing and laughing just to see their faces. They were all red and they were screaming, but I could not hear anything. I could not understand what they were telling me. My friend, Mayela, she was sitting on the floor. She was scared. She was saying, my mom, my sister, What am I gonna do in here? Am I gonna leave? And then there was Abby. She had forgotten about her rheumatoid arthritis, and she was on the floor crawling, and she was screaming at me and looking at me so desperately. And everything that I just could hear was kneel down. And then I was still laughing. I didn't know why I could not do it. But the next thing I remember is that I was crawling already on the floor and looking around all the people that I was crawling and screaming and crying. And when all of that was over, we took the bus to home and everything became serious. I stopped laughing and all the people was looking at us, and you know, who wouldn't look at three teenagers with mud all over the face, the clothes, the hands, the shoes. And we were sitting at the very back of the bus. And then it was funny after that. We said goodbye and I arrived home. The first thing that I did was to hug my aunt and tell her everything. But everything that I got is just what she came and scolded me for being so irresponsible to go out. And she told me, you know what will happen to you? You wouldn't be going to your mom. And I just was, come on, it wasn't even my fault. I didn't plan the shooting. So after that, my uncle arrived and it happened the same thing. He scolded me and he said the same things. On the night, it was time to say goodbye to everyone. I say goodbye to my brother, to my sister, to the whole family. And I went to take the plane. After the 4 hours of nervousness and thinking about what I should do at the first sight to see my mom, I was really nervous. And then when it was the time to go out of that plane and to see my mom, I was really scared and nervous. And then I look around the crowd and I say, wow, this is so diverse. And I was looking for someone. I couldn't see anyone's face. When I saw her, she was there in the middle. She was smiling. And it was the first time after 12 years that I saw her. I wasn't the kid that had to look up to see her face. I was taller now. It was really odd to see her because all the years had left a big mark on her face. She was older than I remember. Me too. I was older. And then she smiled and she started to cry. And I came to her and the tears came down to my cheeks. And the only thing that I could say was, Mom. Thank you.